Belfast in Northern Ireland for the UK's strongest man, and it's day two. On the first day, Ian Plews and Ross Tweedy of Ireland went home, but there was a real battle for the top. Adam Townsend of England leading over the big daddy Glenn Ross. That's a surprise. And there's confirmation. Adam Townsend first, 25 points. Glenn Ross just half a point behind him. Well, coming up next, it'll be the truck pull. But first, let's meet the 6 men in Group A. This man's got plenty of work to do. It's Lee Allen of Scotland, trailing the rest of the pack by 12.5 points, but he is the smallest. Big Rob Frampton, Portsmouth's strongest man. And look at that, 25 stone, 60-inch chest. Spencer Highland, one of the veterans, been training for 20 years, and he's a contender for the final. Sean Kenny of England, first time for him in this competition, and so far he's looked pretty impressive. Big Daddy Glenn Ross, champion for the last 2 years, looking to regain his title, but he didn't have everything his own way on the first day. And the leader of Group A, Adam Townsend of England, 25 points, just half a point clear of the daddy.
First event, day two, the old favourite, truck pull. For the athletes haven't just got to pull one big truck, they've got to pull 2, making it twice as hard, total weight 16 tonnes. Fastest man wins.
Well, certainly it's a Scottish element first, and that's Lee Allen. And this is going to be a pretty tough one for him. There's a 3-metre gap between the first lorry and the second, and it's got to take up the slack first and then start to move the second lorry. But to overcome the inertia of this lorry is going to be difficult. In other words, get it starting to move. Now, that is tough.
Well, Lee will find this really hard because he's just not a big enough athlete. He's not big enough. You know, he hasn't got enough body weight there. He will find this event very hard. It's once the second truck kicks in, there's 17 tons overall, 8.5 tons for each of these trucks. So, and I don't think it's moving. I think it's moved and then stopped, and it will be a distance element here. There's a distance or time. There's an overall time, I would think, of 90 seconds once again for this event. A 20-metre course, 90 seconds, 17 ton of truck. And that is a tough proposition. Yeah, he's just come to a dead stop. He won't get that moving now.
No, I think he's packed it in, and he has. And the official distance, well, it looks around about 2 metres, but I think that's the distance that will actually be given. 2 metres it is on the board. So 2 metres. So, not unexpected. As you were saying, he's not a big man. He's not a powerful man in that sense. But he did get it going. Spencer Highland is next up. Now then, Spencer's got a little bit more power in that frame, and let's see what happens. He's got the first lorry going. Now, what happens when the 3-metre line goes? And look at the rain coming down, so they've got a problem of slipping underfoot as well.
As you can see, Stuart, there, Spencer's doing a good technique here. He's staying really low and driving forward with his hips. He's got both trucks moving now, so he's got his momentum, and now it's all about his fitness levels and the strength in his legs to get to the finish line.
Well, he was 5th after the first of the heats, so this is the day 2 of this Group A, as you've heard, and he is now beginning to motor. A little glance up to see where the line is, and this is going to be pretty tough. Remember, 90 seconds, he's going to be well within inside that, I would think, if he keeps this going. He mustn't let it stop, and look how slippery it's getting. That right foot just missed the ground for the moment there, but and you can see that there's a fair bit of edge on that tarmac, so they've got a good advantage. It's the bumper of the lorry that's got to get over the line. He's just beginning to stop.
He's going to make it though. You know, he's going all the way. You know, it's a good pull from Spencer because it really is a heavy pull. He's had to stay low all the way through, and there he's going to cross the line now. That's excellent.
He's got it. Well, 71.70, 71.7 is the time for Spencer Highland. Now that is a very strong pull indeed. to keep it going, and it's that second truck that's the problem. Once you've got that gap between the two trucks, a real problem to get the first one going and then to be greeted with the pull of the second. That is not easy.
Spencer, you won the first route. How difficult was that?
Exceedingly difficult. It was a very hard pull, quite long. It was just draining.
So what's happening next for you? Confident?
Yeah, and I weren't looking forward to that event. I usually complete them, but I'm slow on my feet. So now a couple of static events, I'm looking forward to them. Qualifying for the final, yeah.
Right, Rob Frampton, what can you do? Next man up from Hampshire. And just looking at the first day, he was third overall with 23.5 points, so in good position. And the rain absolutely belting down, as you can see. But I tell you what, he's got this moving very, very well indeed. He certainly has. You'd notice the point at which the second lorry played in. He was moving quite well. All of a sudden, he was stopped, and he had to start again and overcome that initial momentum. He's got to get some speed into this now, and he seems to be doing it.
Yeah, well, Rob Frampton weighs 160 kilos as well, Stuart, so he's got that initial inertia. So you'd expect Rob to complete this as well.
He's well on the way to the same weight as the lorry then. Big fella.
Yeah, and with Spencer completing the event, Rob's seen the benchmark and he's got to finish. And he's well on the way to the finish line now.
Just comes up a little bit. He's got to keep that centre of gravity low. He's got to drive off those legs, keep low. That's the secret. Keep low and deep in concentration. He's got to get the bumper over that line as well. It's not just good enough for him to go over the line. It's slowing down and he's getting very tired. See that grimace on his face? I'm not surprised. He must keep the tension in the rope though.
Yeah, he probably could have had a quicker time, but he came up a couple of times during the pull.
Well, he's got there, and it's just outside 77 seconds. And you're quite right, he did get in an upright position, and that really caused him a problem. And once the lorries stop, then you really are in trouble. So, I wonder who this is. The defending champion. He's won this 3 times before. He's going for a 4th. He's won for the last 2 years. And of course, Glenn Ross has the stature, I would think, to prevail here. But it won't be easy, and one should never assume anything. I think the rain has abated just for the moment, which is to his advantage. Just leaning against that lorry. He's got the first one going. Now then, what happens when it comes? Let's keep a note on what happens when the second one comes in. You might notice it. There it is. The second one's coming in now. You could just see the movement. Now he's got it going. There,
Yeah,
there's the second one. There's the second one.
It's a good technique now from Glenn. He's dropped back down into a truck pull position. And he's just moving along like a tiger.
Well, just he's getting a lot of encouragement, isn't he? You can see and hear from the sideline.
Yeah,
Good posture, though. Low centre of gravity, keeps deep. Now he's up again. Oh, that may be an error.
Yeah, he should have stayed down, really. He'd got a good momentum. He was looking good.
He's just leaning away now from the lorry, and I think, he's got to go down again. I think he has. He's getting very tired, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just using that massive body weight of Glenn's.
Well, you can see the line now in front of him. He's just got to get that over. I'm not sure that the standing is helpful. I'm really not.
Now, what Glenn's doing, he's standing up and keep leaning into the harness to use his body weight to keep the trucks moving. It's not a good technique of Glenn.
Well, he's not got far to go now. His feet are going sideways across now. He's just trying to get additional grip. You could just see that for the moment, but he's going to be there. There he's there. He's there. And that will have hurt. That really will have hurt. Well, certainly a respectable time, and he enjoys this crowd, doesn't he? We'll have a look at the final stages of this performance of his. He did stand up a couple of times, and I think he found that very, very tough indeed. I just wonder what he thought about all that.
It was very tough. Probably one of the hardest truck pulls I've ever done. It was heavy all the way. It was just legs burning, calves are just blown up at the end. Just sheer determination, got your line really, you know.
When they gave you the 80 count, it seemed like you just used your last little bit of energy to get across the line. Was that the killer bit?
It was, yeah. Last metre, unbelievable.
I think he'll need a bit more recovery than that as Adam Townsend goes in. Adam Townsend, incidentally, was the leader overall ahead of Glenn Ross here, but only half a point between them, and Ross certainly suffering still. And I just wonder how Adam Townsend will react. I understand he's got a little bit of an injury, Fraser.
Yeah, more than a little bit of an injury. He's carrying a pec tear. So I think this will be a tall order for Adam to complete 2 truck pulls. You know, I just think it'll be too heavy on his body. Under normal circumstances, Adam would relish this event.
I think the problem, once again, as you make that point, is when the second truck comes into play. I'm just looking to see whether he's actually got there yet. I think the second truck is moving. It's just beginning to move. And that's when the difficulty starts. But he's starting to make his way now, but the clock is really ticking away, isn't it? Seems to be going well at the moment. Coming towards the line. The line actually is 20 metres away from the start, so he's got 20 metres in all. Now then, this is a difficult point. Slowing just a little, still going, but a little bit slow, and it looks to me as though it's stopping, and that might be a problem. Yeah, I think you're right, he's hurting, isn't he? He's just up to the line, but it's the lorry, the front of the lorry, that's got to go beyond that line. Is he going to make it? He'll get a distance. Now the time is being timed out. 80 seconds. He's got less than 10 seconds to get that line. The chances are he won't get this going again. Is it heading towards, remember, 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes is the target. That's it. And the distance will be measured now. And it's somewhere in the region of what? He's moved about 12, 13 metres, hasn't he? He's got about 5 or 6 metres or so to go, but that'll come up on the official score. Not quite a completion.
It was a heavy pull, but the last little bit is a bit of a dip, and if you don't get it quite right, once they stop, you ain't moving them again. And I got it a little bit wrong, and it stopped, and I couldn't move it. But I was over the line, the back in the front of the truck was just off. So.
Well, it's an England 1 and 2 as Spencer Highland takes first, 6 points for that, and Rob Frampton second gets 5. Glenn Ross will be disappointed with third, but Lee Allen in 6th place really has it all to do. Overall then, well, look at that. 3 men sharing first place, Spencer Highland, Rob Frampton and Glenn Ross. And for Lee Allen of Scotland, he really does look like he faces elimination. Well, despite the wet British summer, Spencer Highland starts to come good with a great win in the truck pull. After the break, it's the human link.